feel like there could be a team overseas who would love to snatch Caitlin Clark away from us and give her a crazy offer. I mean, Ice Cube was about to give her $5 million to play in less than 10 games in the Big Three. So
the European League just revealed Caitlin Clark's debut moments, and they did it with the biggest grin. Who could blame them? When you've hit the jackpot without even trying, it's definitely cause for
No matter how the cachet of the WNBA elevates, remember, it could have been even better. You messed it up. You messed it up.
celebration. And when I say the dumbest move ever, oh yeah, I'm talking about the WNBA. They practically gift-wrapped their golden goose, Caitlin Clark, and served her on a silver platter to the EuroLeague. If that's not the peak of short-sightedness, I don't know what it.
And from the sounds of this interview, it seems like she's probably going to make more money overseas in EuroLeague than she did during this WNBA season. The commissioner told her that she could make $700,000 playing in the WNBA.
Caitlin must be breathing a sigh of relief now. Let's face it, she's finally free from the relentless physicality she had to endure. No more random hip checks out of nowhere. No one trying to gouge her eyes like it's some twisted contact sport. She can actually focus on playing basketball. Meanwhile, the WNBA is probably sitting in a corner, scratching their heads, wondering how they let this happen. So Caitlin Clark just bailed on the WNBA, and honestly, who can blame her? The WNBA completely fumbled the bag, and now Europe is out here flexing like they've hit the jackpot. Which, let's be real, they did. The EuroLeague is rolling out the red carpet for Clark, while the WNBA scrambles to figure out how they managed to lose their brightest star. But hey, that's what happens when you treat your top talent
In the WNBA through marketing this and that. I don't know what Kathy was talking about, because even the highest paid player in the WNBA currently makes a little over $200,000 in salary.
like a bench warmer. Let's start with the money, because the WNBA clearly wasn't. Caitlin Clark was set to make, what, $76,000 to $78,000 in her rookie season? That's it? Meanwhile, Europe is offering her a bag so big it'd make WNBA execs cry. We're talking hundreds of thousands more. And guess what? In Europe, they actually take care of their players. Housing, transportation, taxes, they cover it all. Yeah, you heard that right. The WNBA couldn't even throw in a free bus pass, but Europe? They've got Clark living like royalty. Now, Kathy Engelbert and the rest of the WNBA.
With the WNBA season ending for many teams, there are already so many players heading overseas to play during the off-season. But with all of the drama currently surrounding the WNBA, on top of the low-paying salaries, some of these players are questioning if they'll even
Brain trust must be sweating bullets. What's left for them without Caitlin Clark? Oh, that's right, nothing. This is the same league where Clark was pulling in millions of fans and boosting viewership by an insane 142%.
And now, she's gone.
Just gone. All for what? A laughable $300,000 over 4 years.
Caitlin Clark has now broke that glass ceiling, and they should be bowing at her. She's going to create jobs and money.
It's the kind of short-sighted blunder that will haunt the league for years. That's downright laughable compared to what the EuroLeague is offering. And let's not even mention Ice Cube stepping in with a $5 million deal for just 10 games. 10 games. That's more than Caitlin Clark would have earned in 4 entire WNBA seasons. Honestly, if I were her,
Indiana Fever was turning away games into home games, and so it's kind of sad that through all of that, Caitlin was still advocating for players on the other team to get bonuses, because she saw the kind of money and eyeballs and viewership that all of this was generating.
I'd have packed my bags so fast they'd still be spinning. And let's not act like it's just about the money. The EuroLeague offers something the WNBA can't even dream of: a real season. While the WNBA barely scrapes through a few summer months, Europe runs from October to April, giving Clark way more time to play, grow, and compete at a high level. Oh, and the competition? It's way tougher. The WNBA is starting to look like a glorified pickup game compared to the intensity Clark's about to face overseas. Europe's out.
To hell with the WNBA. They're nothing. They're nobody. No one's watching.
They lost 50.
They're sharpening their swords, while the WNBA is still stuck playing patty cake. The European League just unveiled Caitlin Clark's first minutes, and let me tell you, they've hit the jackpot. Meanwhile, The WNBA is probably huddled in a corner, wondering how they let their brightest star slip through their fingers. Honestly, whatever they did to Clark feels like a crime against basketball. The WNBA fumbled so hard it's as if they were practically begging Europe to take her.
I understand she hadn't played in the league yet, but at least the popularity and the interest around it.
And Europe? They couldn't be luckier if they tried. Europe now has the Caitlin Clark, and the WNBA is left with a giant void where their most electrifying player used to be. Oh, and let's not forget the endorsements. Clark isn't just dominating on the court, she's about to rake and cash off it too. Europe's sponsorship and branding game is on a whole other level. Soon enough, she'll be on billboards from London to Paris, while the WNBA sits back, wondering where it all went wrong. Here's a clue: everything. You had Caitlin freaking Clark, and you let her slip.
That sounds like a dream. Traveling around Europe, playing basketball.
Like we went to Paris played in Paris for the EuroLeague championship.
Through your fingers. Europe didn't even have to try. They just gave her what she deserved. Now, let's talk about what Europe is getting. Unlike the WNBA, which often feels like the same old song and dance, the EuroLeague is real competition. It's not just American players going head-to-head. It's top-tier talent from powerhouse countries like Russia, Turkey, Spain, and France. The WNBA could never compare. Clark's about to face teams that play tough, gritty basketball, none of that soft WNBA nonsense. In Russia, it's all about brute force. She's going to have to toughen up and start bodying people, and I can't wait to see how she handles that. Then there's Turkey, where the game is slick, fast-paced, and all about quick.
There could be a world where more of these private-owned EuroLeague teams, I could see some of these teams going after some of our star players in the WNBA. And if the money makes sense, if the business aspect makes sense, we could lose more players to playing overseas.
Forget the WNBA's slow, plodding pace. Clark is about to step into a basketball masterclass. And get this, the EuroLeague is all about teamwork, precision, and actual strategies. Can you imagine Caitlin Clark in a league where players don't just stand around waiting for one star to carry the game? She's going to have to adapt.
People don't always share all of the good things that they're doing, and Caitlin by no means had to do that.
To a level of basketball that actually matters. The WNBA might as well be a pickup game at this point compared to the real competition and intensity she's about to experience in Europe. It's a whole different ball game over there. Let's not forget the EuroLeague's history either. They've been doing this since 1958, way before the WNBA even existed. Legends like Diana Taurasi and Breanna Stewart.
Because Russia paid Diana Taurasi at that time $1.5 million salary to play in Russia. Now, at the time in the WNBA, the salary, like the highest salary in the league, was $107,000. So
thrived there. And now Clark is about to join that legacy. But here's the twist. She's going to do it better. Clark is stepping into basketball royalty, while the WNBA can only sit on the sidelines and wonder what could have been. They had their chance and they blew it. And the fans? Oh, they're buzzing. European basketball fans are some of the most intense and passionate in the world, and now they get to watch Caitlin Clark light up their courts. The comparisons to Kobe Bryant's legendary European tours are already being thrown around, and for good reason. This is a huge moment for basketball fans in Russia, Turkey, Spain, and beyond. These fans already pack arenas.
She was getting all of that, yet all of these eyeballs were coming to the league because of her. The Indiana Fever was turning away games into home.
And now they've got a superstar like Clark to root for. The energy is about to hit a whole new level. Meanwhile, back in the US, WNBA fans are stuck watching. What exactly? Without Clark, they've got nothing to look forward to. The WNBA is feeling the void, and Europe's about to experience a whole new level of excitement. Speaking of the WNBA, let's talk about the viewership nosedive they're about to experience. Caitlin Clark single-handedly pulled in more viewers than the league has seen in years. Her games with the Indiana...
Okay, they have the highest audience they've seen in 24 seasons in the WNBA games. Televised games with Caitlin Clark's Indiana Fever averaged 1.18 million viewers compared to 394,000 for all other games. There were a record 22 games that averaged over 1 million viewers.
Fever were averaging 1.18 million viewers per game. Let that sink in. The WNBA as a whole was pulling just 394,000 viewers per game, and Clark was more than tripling that. But now she's gone. No one is tuning in for anyone else. They were there for Clark. Without her, good luck keep
all of this just nonsense about things that Caitlyn was doing wrong when, in my personal opinion, she was doing nothing but going out there and playing great basketball every night.
Keeping people interested. The WNBA is about to feel the impact of losing its biggest draw. The proof was already there. During the playoffs, ratings dropped nearly 50% when Clark wasn't on the court. The first game between the Aces and the Liberty, just 929,000 viewers. That's down from over 1 million when Clark was playing. The WNBA is going to feel her absence like a gut punch, and honestly, they deserve every bit of it for letting her slip away. They had a star who brought in the eyes, and now they're left scrambling, facing the consequences of their own mistakes. Clark was the league's lifeline, and now she's taking her talents and the fans that came with them over to Europe. And Europe? They're about to capitalize on this like no one's business. The EuroLeague already had a strong fan base, but with Clark in the mix, forget about it. Sold-out arenas and
all of this just nonsense about things that Caitlyn was doing wrong when, in my personal opinion, she was doing nothing but going out there and playing great basketball every night and ignoring the hate that was coming to her from all sides, not only from fans, but from competitors, coaches, all of these people.
Russia and Turkey are just the beginning. The European basketball scene is about to blow up, and Clark is going to be right at the center of it all, putting on a show the WNBA could never hope to match. AS for the WNBA? They can sit back, watch, and cry about what they've lost because it's never coming back. The WNBA had its chance, but they seriously blew it. They put Clark in the same box as everyone else, slapped a tiny paycheck in her hand, and expected her to stay. She's a superstar, not some role player they can toss around. And now that Europe has her, they're not letting go. So, WNBA, enjoy your empty seats and sad ratings. Maybe next time you'll learn how to treat a player like Caitlyn Clark, but oh wait, there won't be a next time. She's Europe's treasure now. The WNBA can keep crying about it while the EuroLeague watches Clark drop buckets and break records.
Good job, WNBA. You really outdid yourselves this time.